All right, thank you all for giving us a chance to visit with you for a few minutes. Let me introduce you. I'm Senator Ron Wyden of Oregon. I'm the point person on the Finance Committee on International Trade. In seniority, Senator Murkowski, I think all of you know her, internationally renowned. Senator Hassan, a valued member of the Finance Committee, and Senator Cortez Mastow as well. We're not going to give you any filibusters today. Those are our long speeches. And let me just give you a couple of quick thoughts. We are 4 United States senators, Democrats, Republicans, here to talk about making sure that in the days ahead, we build on a productive economy for Canada and the United States. And we are bridge builders, not people who throw wrenches. And let me talk to you about some of the specific ways in which I believe we can build more trust between the United States and Canada. As you know, we're talking about tariffs. Tariffs or taxes. In our country, the biggest issue is cost. People are concerned about the price of goods and services, and we know that that's a big issue in Canada. We've got a big date coming up, August 1st, and we made it clear that on a bipartisan basis, we want to work with all sides, the executive branch in both countries, to get some stability back in the economy in the United States and in Canada. I made a couple of suggestions. The first is we ought to be trying to reinvigorate the U.S. Canada-Mexico agreement. And all of my colleagues share that view. This is something that we've had a considerable amount of success with since it was written during the Trump administration, and we ought to strengthen it. We ought to build it, not get rid of it. That's number one. 2 other points that I'd mentioned that I think would help to build trust. We talked about the digital services tax. You all, to your credit, said you're not going to collect it. I asked that Canada move as quickly as possible to get a law passed in Parliament, making sure that it's gone permanently. The Prime Minister was receptive to that. He said he would get on it in the fall. So I think that's number one. Number 2, in our part of the world, softwood lumber is enormously important, and we asked about how we could make progress on dealing with that issue, which has been an irritant between the United States and Canada for decades and decades. And I think we now have a clear idea of how to proceed, and that's to build around some sort of quota arrangement. And the Prime Minister said he was open to that. So lots to work on, but it's all about strengthening the trust between our 2 great countries. Senator Murkowski.
So as you know, I'm from Alaska, the 49th state. We're happy to be the 49th. We think we have just about the right number of states in the United States, or this senator does. As much as we love our Canadian neighbors, we would like you to respect that border between our 2 countries. So this visit is as much of an effort to ensure that there is a recognition that this trust, this relationship that we have had between our 2 countries is solid, despite the complicated world that we're navigating right now when it comes to tariffs and trade issues. I think it is important to also recognize, though, that we have a very unique aspect or relationship between the United States and Canada when it comes to defense security. This is not only economic security that we're talking about with tariffs, it is about the shared defense security that we have through NORAD. In my state of Alaska, on almost a daily, if not more frequent basis, believe it or not, it's the Canadian partnership with the U.S. Military assets through training exercises, through intercepts in the air, on the water. This relationship is real, and we don't want to see that frayed when we have, again, complicated relationships as they relate to our trade. We have opportunities within the Arctic sphere. We have opportunities with regards to cyber. So how we are able to negotiate some of that at the same time that we're talking about some of these very very discrete issues. Good conversation this morning, not only with the Prime Minister, but also with the Minister of Foreign Affairs. And the terminology that she used with the U.S. MCA, which I thought was very instructive, she says, we have a framework within that we wish to operate. We have the frame, we need to make it work. And so I think this is yet another aspect of what we're trying to do today to reinforce these relationships, to ensure that going forward we see good reforms to the USMCA, but also that beyond that, on the economic diplomacy, the economic security, we do not erode or fray the defense relationship that our two nations have.
Senator Hassan.
Well, good morning, everybody. I'm Maggie Hassan, Senator from New Hampshire. And first of all, to our friends and neighbors in Canada, the Granite State sends you our greetings and says we miss you, because we know that the instability in our relationship right now has meant that some Canadians have decided to stay away from their favorite American tourist spots, and we hope you will come back. And it's not just that we miss your business, which of course every good business person does, but we miss your friendship. We are a people of shared values. We share geography, to Senator Murkowski's point, shared security interests. In the state of New Hampshire, we have been particularly hard hit by an issue I know that Canada's dealing with, which is the fentanyl crisis. And one of the things we were able to talk with the Prime Minister about was the things we can do together to stop the flow of the precursor chemicals that are used to make fentanyl to our countries, but also the things that we have learned in the United States that we can work on together to stop the demand for fentanyl and help people get better when they do become addicted. At the end of the day, you are our best friends, and the relationship is going through some great strain, but we do think that the framework of the USMCA gives us an opportunity to kind of, in one framework, come together and improve on something that was a great bipartisan success back in 2018, and really work again to strengthen the relationship, bring back some stability and some trust, and move forward, because we are a people of shared values and shared outlook, and I hope very much that we can continue to be the friends that we've always been.
Senator Cortez Masto.
Hi, so I'm Catherine Cortez Masto from Nevada. Nevada has a great partnership with Canada, has traditionally and will continue to do so. It's not just around travel and trade and conventions, and I will say we are seeing a decrease in the travel from Canadians to Nevada. 30% of our international travel are Canadians, and we're seeing an impact to our state. But it's not just about the travel and tourism and trade. That's a great partnership for us. The state of Nevada has an incredible partnership with Canada, because right now there's 183 Canadian companies in the state of Nevada, and they employ almost 17,000 people. We have a sister partnership with the province of Ontario to work on advanced manufacturing, critical minerals, energy. There traditionally has been that great partnership with Canada. And for that reason, as a member of Senate Finance, I do think it is important we reinvigorate the USMCA and work within the confines of the agreement that we've already negotiated, but we need to make sure that as we move forward, both Canada and the United States are getting what they need out of this agreement.
Let's throw it open to questions. We forgot to get into aluminum and steel, and beer drinkers everywhere are counting on us to work this out to make sure that they can have their cans of beer when there's a game going on.
So did you feel that there was progress today in the discussions?
Definitely. And the reality is that everybody is waiting. In effect, we hear from our constituents, we hear from colleagues that there is a project, for example, that is on hold because people are waiting to see if there'll be an agreement, a deal, to characterize it in Donald Trump's language. And I felt that this was very constructive, and it was all about dealing with the trust that my colleagues are talking about. And we had concrete ideas where both sides are looking like they want to pursue constructive solutions, and that was progress.
Senator Murkowski, if I could just ask you, you mentioned you're the 49th you don't want to sort of move down that list, you want to respect the borders. How do you explain the rhetoric that we continue to hear from the from the president, and how do you explain to Republicans now what Canadians feel, and do you think you can help sort of turn the tide to maybe get more people on your side of the border?
I cannot explain President Trump's rhetoric about the 51st state. That is his statement, but I think it has been made very, very clear that most view that as nothing more than a positioning statement, if you will, something to maybe agitate. I don't think that that's constructive, quite honestly. Certainly here in Canada, you can sense that there is a direct hostility, if you will, to that suggestion. So my advice to the president, not that he will take it willingly, is that constructive dialogue is going to be what reinforces this long-standing relationship between these two countries, where you have a 5,000-mile border, where you have shared interests, shared values. So suggesting things that you know are really not within the realm of the possible are not necessarily constructive.
Hold on one sec so I can just add to them. 4 senators here, both political parties spent the morning working to build bridges, not throw wrenches.
So how likely is a deal by August 1st? How likely is a deal by August 1st?
Between the White House?
Can you get a deal by August 1st, do you think?
A tariff-free deal, do you think that's possible, Senator Murkowski? And what's your advice to the Prime Minister when it comes to that?
A tariff-free deal? I think this is left to the hands right now of those that are negotiating. And everything that we know is that these negotiations have been very tightly, very closely held. We all want to get to August 1st and beyond with a resolve that works for Canada and works for the United States.
Article 1 of the U.S. Constitution charges the Congress to lead on international trade. We're making it clear that we're willing to work with all parties to come up with a program and an approach that makes sense. Thanks, everybody.